Welcome to the Easy Peasy Methodcast, your go-to space for breaking free from porn with ease. This isn't about fighting urges or using willpower. It's about understanding the trap, stepping out of it, and rediscovering what life feels like when you're truly free. Let's take that step together. Today we're talking about something that doesn't get questioned much, something that almost everyone grows up believing is completely normal, even necessary: masturbation. For most people, the idea that masturbation could be anything but natural is unthinkable. It's treated as a part of life, a way to release stress, a normal bodily function, and the most common advice: it's healthy, it's safe, it's even good for you. But what if that's not the full story? What if masturbation is fueling lust, keeping people stuck in a cycle that prevents them from ever feeling truly free? This isn't about moral arguments or outdated taboos. This is about understanding how the mind and body actually work. And today, we're going to break it all down. Let's start with the basic idea that most people never question. Masturbation is a harmless way to relieve sexual energy. That's what we're told. But here's the reality. Masturbation doesn't relieve anything. It actually creates more cravings. It's a cycle, a loop, where the more you do it, the more you want to do it again. Think about it. Have you ever had a moment where you thought, "This is the last time I'm done with this"? And then, a few hours later, or the next day, you feel the same urge all over again? That's not an accident. That's because masturbation isn't releasing you from desire. It's feeding it. Every time you engage in it, you reinforce the habit. You train your brain to expect a hit of dopamine. And the next time you feel bored, anxious, or stressed, your brain remembers that relief came from masturbation. So the craving comes back, and the cycle repeats. This is why masturbation isn't just an action, it's a self-reinforcing loop. And that loop is what makes people feel trapped. Because it's not just about the momentary pleasure, it's about the aftermath, the drained energy, the mental fog, the loss of drive, and the worst part, the feeling that something is missing. People talk about post-nut clarity like it's some kind of joke, but it's real. That moment right after where you suddenly feel empty, where whatever fantasy you were caught up in disappears, and you're left feeling off. That's not your imagination. That's your body resetting its dopamine levels after an artificial spike. And the more you repeat this cycle, the harder it becomes to find real satisfaction in anything else. And this is where we get into how masturbation fuels lust. Most people think of lust as a feeling that just happens, like an instinct. But that's not the full picture. Lust is something that grows. It's something you feed. And masturbation is the ultimate fuel. Imagine a fire. The more wood you throw on it, the bigger it gets. The same thing happens with lust. Every time you give in to an urge, you're throwing more fuel on the fire. And over time, your brain changes. It starts seeing the world through a lens of lust. It's why people who masturbate frequently find themselves sexualizing everything: strangers on the street, characters in movies, even moments that shouldn't be arousing. Their brain has been trained to seek stimulation. And here's where the real problem comes in. When lust takes over, it distorts reality. It makes people believe that sexual pleasure is the highest form of happiness, that real connection, real love, real passion are secondary to just getting off. And this is why masturbation keeps people from feeling truly free. Because as long as you are constantly seeking release, you are not in control. The habit is controlling you. And let's talk about energy, because this is something no one ever warns you about. Sexual energy is powerful. It's not just about reproduction, it's about drive, ambition, creativity, motivation. Some of the greatest minds in history, artists, inventors, thinkers, they understood this. They knew that sexual energy, when channeled properly, fuels passion for life. But when it's constantly wasted through masturbation, that energy is drained. Think about how you feel after a heavy meal: sluggish, slow, unmotivated. Masturbation has the same effect, but mentally. It creates a fog. It robs you of intensity. And this is why so many people feel stuck in life. They have goals, dreams, things they want to accomplish, but they lack the fire to act on them. They're constantly depleting themselves, thinking it's normal. And then there's real intimacy. One of the biggest lies society tells us is that masturbation is a safe, healthy way to replace real sexual connection, that it's better than cheating, and that it's harmless because it doesn't involve anyone else. But here's the truth. Masturbation doesn't just replace real intimacy, it damages your ability to connect. Because real intimacy isn't just about pleasure, it's about bonding. It's about emotional connection, vulnerability, shared experiences. But when you train your brain to get instant pleasure alone, it slowly loses interest in real human connection. That's why so many people who get caught in the habit find that real attraction fades. Their brain stops responding to normal relationships because it's used to artificial stimulation. And the worst part? It makes loneliness worse. At first, people use masturbation to escape loneliness, but over time, it becomes a wall, something that prevents them from seeking real relationships. It's easier, it's instant, it doesn't require effort, but it leaves them feeling empty. Because deep down, we're not meant to be isolated. We're not meant to seek pleasure in solitude. We're wired for connection. So, what happens when you stop? What happens when you break the cycle? The first thing you notice is clarity. The mental fog lifts, the brain starts resetting, things that felt dull start feeling exciting again. There's more energy, more focus, more drive, and then something incredible happens. You start feeling in control again. Instead of being pulled around by urges, you feel free. Instead of chasing temporary pleasure, you start seeking real fulfillment. And the best part? Lust stops ruling your mind. Because when you stop fueling the fire, it naturally dies down. This is why Easy Peasy doesn't tell you to fight urges. It doesn't tell you to use willpower. It just removes the desire altogether. It helps you see that you're not giving anything up by quitting masturbation, you're getting your life back. So if you've been stuck in this habit, ask yourself, what am I really gaining from it? Not what I've been told, not what society says, but what do I actually get from this? Because if the answer is nothing, then why keep doing it? Freedom isn't something you fight for. It's something you step into. And when you finally let go of this habit, when you stop feeding the fire, you don't feel deprived. You feel alive. That's it for today's episode of the Methodcast. If this resonated with you, don't just think about it, act on it. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, send it their way. Because sometimes, the only thing standing between someone and freedom is a shift in perspective. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need to hear it. We're on this journey together, breaking free and creating lives filled with joy, purpose, and real connection. Until next time, celebrate the small victories, stay curious, and remember, you are stronger than you think. If this landed for you, share it, like it, or leave a comment. It just might be the lifeline someone else needs. Together, we're choosing clarity over confusion, truth over illusion. Keep rising. Keep trusting. You're not behind. You're becoming.